Alright, I got another read it loud for you. Pete the Cat and the Bedtime Blues. Alright, what's the front called? What's the side called? What's this called? Alright, who's the illustrator? Yes, draws pictures. Who's the author? But, yes, writes the words. Alright, Pete the Cat and the Bedtime Blues by Kimberly and James Dean. Alright, what's this page called? Title page. Remember, it's got the title, the book, and then it's got the author and the illustrator on the bottom. Pete the Cat and the Bedtime Blues. Pete and the gang had a great day. They'd been at the beach, surf and sun, and tons of fun. But when the sun went down, they didn't want the fun to end. Pete had an idea. Hey, how about a sleepover? More time for tons of fun. Groovy. Pete's place. Let's go. The party was far out, but they knew they couldn't stay up all night. The gang decided it was time to say good night. On went the pajamas and out went the light. Good night, Gus. Good night, Alligator. Good night, Toad. Good night, Pete. Pete was just about to catch some zzz when clap, clap, clap. Who did that? Pete asked. It was me, said Grumpy Toad. I don't want to go to bed. I want to clap instead. Pete covered his head. This cool cat needs to go to bed. Good night, Gus. Good night, Alligator. Good night, Toad. Good night, Pete. Time to sleep. Pete tried again to catch some zzz when rat-a-tat-tat. Who did that? Pete asked. It was me, said Gus, the platypus. I don't want to go to bed. I want to jam instead. Pete covered his head. This cool cat needs to go to bed. Time to sleep. Good night, Gus. Good night, Alligator. Good night, Toad. Good night, Pete. Pete closed his eyes to catch some zzz when he heard. Who do you think's going to be next? Munch, munch, munch. Pete had a hunch. It was Alligator. He was always up for eating. What could Pete do? All the clapping, rat-a-tat-tatting, and munching was giving him bedtime blues. Pete had a groovy idea. He got out his favorite bedtime story, started to read, first to himself and then to the gang. Do you think it'll help them go to sleep? Pete noticed it was finally quiet. No more clapping, no more rat-a-tat-tatting, and no more munching. They all settled down. No one made a sound. Pete yawned and turned off the light. Good night. Sleep tight. Time to catch some zzz. Tomorrow was another day for surfing, sun, and tons of fun. Even though sometimes you don't want to go to sleep, you just want to keep having fun like Pete and his gang, it's really important that you get sleep at night and that you wake up full and rested and ready to go, because that's when your brain is awake, that's when you learn more and you remember all the important things that you learned in school and that you're learning at home with mom and dad or brother and sister. So I hope you're all doing well and I hope you're all sleeping well. I miss you, love you.